Larry. Hey, Felice. Larry, you gotta request to join. Yeah. Let's see. What up?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
It's good. It's a nice day out.
It is a nice day out. Dude, your hair is getting long.
I know, dude. It's crazy long. What's up, Felicia?
It's amazing. I can't believe you grew out the whole thing.
Christine in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I gotta put glasses on before I squint. all the young dancers are like whack.
Bro, what's going on with this old man? Like, I gotta put on my glasses. Like,
I'll be squinting. I'm gonna have to squint the whole time.
it's hilarious. I had to put on my my earphones because I got neighbors doing like their yards and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right, let's give it a little bit.
It's so interesting because I have like Christine, my friend Christine, and Peter jumping on to see like what's this going on. It's so funny because there's so many there's different ways people see me. And some people don't know that I used to dance, and some people think they see me as a dancer, or they see me as a designer, or they see me as a pastor, and all these different things. So I'm curious to see who will jump on, but it
So
looks
many
like
hats.
it's Alicia.
So many hats.
How many people jumped on like when Brandy was on? Because I had to dip in and out.
Oh, I don't know. We had probably like at least 30, I think.
Wow. I'm sorry, probably won't draw as much people.
Whatever, bro. You're like,
I don't know why you wanted to do me, homie.
because you are a co-founder, homie. This is just as much as your thing as it is mine.
Yeah, well, I'm stoked. You're like, you got all Corona tired, and you're like, I'm just gonna freaking do it. So that's awesome, man.
Yeah, because I was like, why are we waiting? We can just do it live.
That's true. True.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I figure this is like the cheapest and easiest way.
Yep. Yeah, not everybody's about that podcast life.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And especially now, like I don't even, I hardly listen to podcasts because I'm not driving as much, right? I'm not driving around. That's usually when I'll listen to podcasts.
See, I still gotta drive into work. So,
yeah.
But it's kind of weird because some of the podcasts just like they stopped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is fine. Like it's understandable, but
yeah.
Yeah,
now would be the time they would put stuff out, right?
Yeah, it's interesting, but yeah.
Oh man, me, you, and Felicia.
You and Felicia, and I think I got one of my kids in here. Taryn.
You can see who's on?
Yeah, you just gotta like scroll down.
Oh, cool.
Now, Zap. Hi.
Did you teach yesterday?
I did teach yesterday.
How does that go? I saw a little bit on your story.
Yeah, it was cool. I think it's hard because there's so many online classes now, and you literally can take from anybody now.
Yep, I know. It's crazy.
It is crazy, but it's fun. I mean, I guess it's kind of fun. Felicia's asking how is it teaching by yourself at the studio? Well, yesterday I had Nikki and Kylie assist me because Nikki taught the little ones before me, so they just stayed. But when it's just me by myself, I think it's more funny because I'm literally talking to myself. Like I'm talking to people who are like watching, but there's no responding. So it's literally talking to myself, laughing at my own jokes and stuff. Like it's great.
It's interesting because some people like that. Like they don't want the interaction. They actually just want to be able to just have a one way. But then some people want the interaction. So interesting to see and notice that.
Yeah, I personally don't like it. As antisocial as I am, I personally don't like it because the teaching aspect of it, it's hard to, you know what I mean? Like you can't really like, oh hey, okay, this part your timing is off, or like, so it's kind of weird. It's just like, well, video yourself, send it to me, and then we'll see how it went. Like
Yeah, it's interesting because dance is it's a visceral thing. It takes your body, but it's also very communal, right? So it's like the energy that happens in the class, that's a big part of the experience of dancing.
Yeah, for sure. Felicia, I am antisocial. I'm antisocial, but I'm very social at the same time. Like I'm socially antisocial.
That's the new shirt. That's the new brand. So
Yeah.
Antisocial. That's funny, man.
Because like I like being around people, but I'll just stick to like the sides. I'll stick to I'll be that wallflower. Yeah. I feel like we basically started this thing, so it's all good. Let's just skip the light. Unless you want to do the lightning round questions.
Man, do your thing, man. Do what you want to do.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you some of the same. Okay. Well, okay. So for whoever's listening, I think maybe there's maybe like a couple of people don't know who Larry is. You should know who Larry is because he's an OG dancer. Like I'd say one of my best bros because we go way back. Started off as a dancer and then kind of led into other things. He was originally, I've known him since Hyper Squad. And his wife Chanel, 24/7. So that was like the first real marriage of the two companies, which is so awesome. But yeah, all right, let's do this. You have any nicknames?
Nicknames. Well, I've just gone by Soul Steady just because that's just been my Instagram name for a while. It's a play off of Rock Steady, but also keep your soul steady.
No, you're good. I got like the wheel of death on your face right now. Okay, there. Wait, I can't hear you now. What's going on? Oh, Larry broke the internet. Started speaking and he broke the internet. Yo. Let's see. You're like, okay. Can you hear me? I can't. Yeah. IG couldn't handle his energy. Wait, bro. I can't hear you for some reason. You gotta love these technical difficulties. Like, it's amazing. Can you hear me? I see. I can't hear you. Oh snap! I'm gonna have to exit out of this thing and start over. Oh yeah, let's get out of. I don't know. I don't even know what to do. This is the first time I've ever encountered this. Oh snap. Okay. Let's see. I know we're trying to get him back on. There you go. There you go. Waiting for Soul Steady.
Yo.
Yay!
Oh man.
That was awesome.
Shane was saying IG couldn't handle.
Yeah, I just can't handle your energy, bro. So, yeah. So nickname was Soul City because of your IG handle.
Yep.
All right. Favorite food?
I stinking love ramen all the way.
Any specific place?
Yeah, right now I love Wogaya. It's nearby, and then they hold it down. It's pretty good over there on
Okay.
King Street.
Okay. How tall are you?
I am 5'4".
Yeah.
I wish I was taller, but that's all my mama gave me, man.
It's all good.
5'4". I'm hoping Levi pulls the Dragomanovich jeans and gets a little taller, but
Yeah, for sure. No, he's pretty tall for like what he's 15, 16?
he's 14, man.
Oh, he's
And he
14.
had a little spurt this time. He's 14, and he had a little spurt last year. He grew like 3 inches or something last year. So
Dang. Yeah, Shane said you twins because you
20.
5'4".
Yeah, buddy. 4.
All right, favorite movie.
I knew you were gonna ask me that, and movies are so hard for me because there's so many different ones, and they hit you at different times. So like every time, you see it hits you a different way. But my go-to is The Matrix, just because it hit me at a time when I was.
Oh, Larry broke the internet again. Oh, we lost your audio. We keep losing your audio. Oh man, you're just gonna have to type your responses. What's going on, Larry? If you don't know, Larry is usually is my computer guy. I ask him. I expect him to know my computer questions. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Kayla. This is the second time I can't hear Larry. All right, Larry, what do we do? What do we do in this? That's funny. It's funny. It's weird that it keeps like kicking like your audio out. My internet is fine. See what happens when you live deep in a valley. No more internet service. Hold on. No. We wanna get through this. Yay!
Internet life.
Internet life. I'm telling you, that's what happens when you live in that valley.
I guess.
I guess. All right. Let's. For people that don't know your dance story, give the quick version of your dance history. Oh, Willow Death again. Oh, look, Larry just fell over. Man, Larry. Maybe it is my internet. I don't think it's my internet. My internet's good. Yeah, I think we might just have to make a video, but that's gonna be interesting. How do you do that? Oh, we can. Yes, we could FaceTime. Larry, can you not join back on then? What's going on? Thanks, Felice. Ain't nobody taking a final right now?
Yo,
There
you go. Yo.
I
Keep
just turned off
bringing it in.
my Wi-Fi and just going off a straight
Oh, nice.
3G or whatever, 4G. Let's see how this goes.
Okay.
Good luck, Felicia. Thanks for saying what's up.
Yeah, Felice, thanks for stopping by. So yeah, give us the brief history of how you got into this dance world.
The dance world. Well, I always used to dance as a kid at parties. I was one of those kids that just like go wild out at parties by himself. And then when I was 9, my parents got divorced, and we moved to the hood in Waipahu, and I changed, and I just made friends with some kids in the neighborhood, and they were b-boys, and so I started b-boying. That's my entry like into dance at 9. I would practice and battle in the hood in Waipahu, man. The crew was called Funky Foot Rockers, FFR, man. And so, yeah, I used to b-boy with them, and I was boy for a while. And I went in and out of doing that. And then in high school, I joined like a performing arts program out in Waipahu called Project Smile. And I was so that was such a huge thing for me personally. That I was just like a street kid, man. I was just a b-boy, but they wanted to try me.
Oh no. Wait, Larry, your audio again. Dang. Your audio went out. What's going on? Oh, and he left. What to do? I think we might just have to FaceTime Larry and then record it and then we'll post it. I think that might be the easiest thing. Let's see. Sorry. Just waiting for Larry to see what he says. I think that might be an easier thing. How's everybody doing out there? How's everyone's Tuesday? Thanks, Shane. I know. We'll post this one. I gotta post things on I gotta post Brandy's one on our YouTube page. Well, thank you for stopping by. For real. Larry.
Yo. I'm trying from Chanel's iPad. Maybe it's my phone, but I don't know if you still want to do this, man. What do you want to do?
No, I'm cool. Yeah, let's do it.
Did you hear my whole spiel about like Marcelo guys and
No.
24/7? That was all silent.
after Project Smile, and then it went like silent.
Yeah, man. That's funny. Did you still want to hear it or what?
Heck yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it. For all those who didn't hear it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so Project Smile was it was like a performing arts company for at-risk youth in Waipahu. And so I was a part of that, and before that I was just b-boying, but they introduced us to a whole new world of like performing arts, and that's where we met 24/7 because that organization had partnered with various like performing companies on the island, and Marcel was one of them. So 24/7 actually came to Waipahu. It was Marcelo, Mark Kanemura, Ryan Sabato, Mahiai, Noah, and they just came and taught like workshops for these like random Waipahu kids. I'm sure it was like so random for them, but that was my taste into like the deeper world of the performing arts. And so they came and taught us jazz. That was the first time I ever did across the floors. And they even brought like a swing dancer. I forget what the name was. So I learned like swing and all these different things. And so that was a big part of like my high school life there. I wanted to be on Broadway. I was just like small, short Filipino kid. And I was like, I want to be a triple threat. I want to be on Broadway. And then, you know, it's like life happens. And, like, even for me, it's like, it was so weird. Like a B-boy doing like the other forms of dance. That was strange in general. Yeah. And I have a personality that really wants to do good at the things I get into. So I tried really hard. I don't think I'm the best or was the best, I think, but I really enjoyed it, you know. And yeah, but then it was also weird because like you know, a lot of my friends didn't understand that world. Yeah. You know, and so some would make fun of me, some just like didn't understand it, and you know, so I just didn't pursue Broadway or the arts in that way. But after high school, that's when I joined Hyper Squad. So I started dancing there, and I remember the first day I went. It was my friend Reggie of mine, Reggie Agbalog. I don't know if some of you guys. He's from 808. That's what I love about my stories. Like I have friends at all these different studios, OG friends, and I think that's why I have a heart for all of us to like, you know, just like partner in the people that kind of like facilitate the connection between the studios. I always have a deep appreciation for, you know. But Reggie was a friend of mine because he was in Smile from Waipahu, and he was also teaching at 808, but he also just started teaching over at Hyper Squad. And so that's when I followed him to Hyper Squad. I remember the first time I took a class there, I had took Reggie's jazz class, and right after that I took hip hop class, and then I took breaking right after. It was like a Friday night or something at Hype, when Hype was still in Kauka Boulevard up in Waipio. And so I remember everybody just like flipping out, like wondering who the hell is this Filipino cat that's like does all this different stuff. And so yeah, that was fun. That was a trip. And then that was a studio. I mean, it was close to home. Reggie was going there, and then I just started going there, made friends real quick, and that's where you were at there. I remember like you would roll up in your Kawasaki Ninja, and I thought you were so cool. I was like, damn, this guy's cool. Yeah, man. And so became really good friends with Jason there, right? Jason's just the man. The whole Ulip family, they have such huge hearts, and they just give so much. And yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, I just became close friends with Jason then, and started teaching there. And then yeah, man, that's kind of, I mean, there's so much more stories that branch off of there, right? And so I danced there for a number of years and did some things. And then I guess my career sort of like dwindled down because like I think that's why a lot of people don't know who I am, is because like I had a short little stint, and then I busted my knee at a jam at the Hip Hop International because Jason was spying on this like Australian crew that was there, and saw them flipping. And at that point, like I was like getting all into like more of like my flips and trying to increase my b-boy game. And Jason was like, "Oh man, forget that, man. You should flip. Like before you come in and do your set, you should do a layout. you should pump up a layout. And because I saw the guy set, and so he was hyping me up, and I was like, oh damn, I didn't practice that. But competitions, you just get all hyped, right? So I got
sure.
nuts, man. Like I got crazy. And I guess the adrenaline was so high. Man, I did my round off, my back handspring, and then I tried to go up for my layout, but I was probably so hyped. I was too high to land correctly. So I went up so high that when I landed, I didn't land right, and so I hyperextended my knee. And like many dancers who get injured, that kind of just like puts a break on the whole pursuit of dancing. And around that time is actually when I met Chanel, and we started dating. So
well, and then you had that brace on for like the longest time.
I did, yeah, man. So I had reconstructive surgery. I hyperextended my knee. I had to replace my ACL, and my meniscus pad needed to be repaired in my left knee. And then, that was a hard time because like at that point, I stopped dancing to heal, but also I was just like rethinking life in general, even though Chanel and I were dating, we were also just trying to like figure out our lives together too. Like we started off just like being good friends, we became really close because we worked the overnight shift at Abercrombie together. With Heather was there too. She and Heather, them two knuckleheads.
Yeah, for sure.
But became close friends with them and really started becoming close friends with Chanel. And then when they came back from their dance trip or their contract with the NCL, the Norwegian Cruise Lines, we started hanging out a little bit more. And so while I was dating her and injured my knee, just rethinking life in general, I knew I still wanted to dance because it was a huge part of my life, but I was looking at other avenues. Predominantly I was investing in my design career, my graphic design career.
Yeah. See, okay. So, going back to what you're saying about dancing at Waipahu, like, yeah, I remember when I first started, like, some of my friends were like, "Oh, are you gay? Are you gay now?" And it's like,
yeah,
well, if that means I'm around girls in tiny little booty shorts and crop tops, then yes, I am very.
That's the weird thing, it's because it's like, I think that's why I have a lot of compassion for a lot of my homosexual friends, like I just love the LGBTQ community so much, but a lot of people don't realize it's hard to be straight in a predominantly, what a lot of people see as, a lot of homosexuals or gay people will be in the arts, but it was hard to be straight, and
yeah.
I think that's why I didn't pursue Broadway, because I didn't know how to reconcile that. I didn't know. I was like, I'm not. I don't think I am. You know what I mean? And I don't know how to. I don't know if I can be that. Maybe I just shouldn't do this. I even thought about not dancing. So, but you're right, man. I mean, I met the girl in my dreams there. Yeah. So
for sure, well, yeah. I mean, it was weird because. For me, I'm coming from sports, and I'm sure from with b-boying,
yeah,
most of the guys are just straight, and then all of a sudden going from majority straight, and then all of a sudden you're like, ooh, I'm maybe 1 out of 4 straight guys out of the 20 guys that are here. That's kind of interesting. All right, but you know what I mean? It don't matter because. I think for the longest time I didn't have any gay friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was a real
new con. What am
I know, new con. but I think it was great because for me it was great because it really opened my eyes because I've never seen or even had any interaction with that, you know. And
Yeah.
I think the one thing that stuck with me is that people is people is people, you know. It don't
Yeah.
matter, like,
Yeah.
and I mean, I have some that like are still like great friends, still talk to them, like, you know what I mean, like, so. But yeah, it was just so interesting at that time.
Yeah, and I think it was cool because like at that time, even though like all the heavy hitters in the dance scene were, were not straight, and so that was like interesting when like I came to Hype, where there's a Hyper Squad, when there's like you were there, and obviously Jason and Josh and all these guys that were in the scene, but was straight. And I thought that was super encouraging for me. And that's probably why, like, after high school, I was so grateful that I landed there, because I had role models that, understood the difference. And it's so interesting to talk about this as if we are the minority, because so many of my gay friends that I love feel marginalized and forgotten or minimized and all that. So it's funny for us as straight dudes, like, to talk about this, because like we don't have it bad. Like, even when I look back, it wasn't bad. It wasn't hard. But I definitely felt different for sure.
Yeah, and I also think it's like interesting because like dudes like Ryan or like Mahi, like I used to look up to them and be like, I don't want to dance like you. Like, I don't want to be that top dog. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, man.
So
I remember going to that one 24/7 concert where, like, I think it was like Ryan, he drew, like, it was like somebody coming out of like the out of the ground, and it had shackles or something. Do you remember that cover?
Yeah, I do.
That's like the first concert that I went to.
Dang,
and I remember just being blown away. Like, he did, I think Ryan did like he did a solo that I later found out he just freestyled. It might have been Prince, I don't know, but I was like, damn, he is freaking good, man.
Yeah,
He's
for
so
sure.
good. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, man. It was good times, like, for sure. Like, but yeah, people like Jason, like, I'm so thankful for Jason and his family, like the Yule family, like, you know what I mean? Like you said, they just kind of took you in, they showed you love, and
Oh man, it's like, to me, the Ulip family, in addition to that crew in high school that I was a part of, is also Hyper Squad and the Ulip family. They just treated me, they've always treated me like one of their own.
Yeah.
And I mean, at one point, I was living at the studio, like, because of different things I was figuring out, and just they to me exemplify a family that accepts and embraces people no matter what. And I'll always have a special place in my heart for them. I shout out to Uncle Brad. I miss that guy.
Yeah.
He's seen me and Jason probably at our worst. And he's seen us do some crazy stuff at the studio. And so it was an honor to officiate or lead his ceremony, his funeral services.
Yeah.
Rest in love, Brad the dad.
Pops. For sure. All right, so from that to starting your getting your creative juices going from one end to another end, what things have you gone into design wise?
Yeah, it's funny because, like, earlier when I was saying, I found myself at Hyper Squad and became close friends with Jason. So a lot of my alternative things were because Jason and I wanted to do more. We wanted to start our own little production company. So it was actually like me and Jason that we wanted to do graphics for people. We wanted to throw, like, we even tried promoting at one point. We wanted to do video and all this, and it was actually at Hyper Squad NYPO that we did all this stuff, you know, like I figured all that stuff out. And as I was learning graphic design, I mean, I was doing it before Hype, and that's actually what I was doing with them also in addition to dancing. And so, but when I busted my knee, you know, like we had already gone through so many things that we tried to do with Jason. And then when I busted my knee and then got with Chanel and then she got pregnant, and that was just like a whole nother, you know, monkey wrench in what I thought was going to be my life. I'm so grateful now, you know, I wouldn't do the same thing, but I mean, I was probably like 22 when I had knocked Chanel up, busted my knee, was trying to, you know, and figure out life. And that was a big, I had like a big existential crisis at that time, you know, and that's actually when I started going to church. And so at that time I was rethinking life, and as I was letting go of my dance aspirations, I started my own, you know, design thing called Spiffy Media. And that's where I was just doing all of my freelance design work, you know, both with Jason and then also, you know, outside with my own work. And Spiffy Media was the latest, you know, iteration of like my design career until 4 years ago I started what is called Lifted Creative Studio. And it's an idea that's meant to be like a creative agency where I provide creative services and the development of creative content for businesses and organizations. But it's also like a dream of mine to create a multifaceted thing. That's why I call it a creative studio. I want it to be more than just services for hire. I would love for it to be a think tank, a collaborative thing, but that's the dream right now, and I'm just trying to stay afloat and make a living for now, and we'll see how things go. And a lot of that thinking, that's like a broad and big. I have big goals, but a lot of that comes from my world of dance, you know, and doing a lot of things with Jason, but also knowing a lot of different people in the dance industry. And so it's kind of hope now. That's what I'm currently doing. That's like my main gig is Lifted Creative Studio. I do a lot of graphic design, web design, and brand identity. And that's just what I'm doing, man, in addition to church stuff.
Okay. So, let's see. Oh, yeah. We definitely have to do like a second interview because it's like there's so much.
I know.
But like, why don't you tell everybody like what was the goal of this whole Sickled Podcast? If you don't know, Larry came up with a name. He came up with a name, Sickled Podcast, and it was completely brilliant. But
yeah.
But yeah, we had like I think a couple of conversations about this, and we just, you know, we really wanted to do this something for the dance community because you know, Larry still, I feel like you still are in the community because your name, like, people know who you are. Like, you know, people remember Levi for being the baby who would like do like 5 head spins, like, you know what I mean? Like, and then Chanel, like, you know, so like you are like a staple in our dance community still. But yeah, tell everybody like what was the goal of this whole thing?
Yeah. I don't know about still. I would love to. Maybe I should like start taking classes again. That's always like a dream for us washed up dudes, you know, to come back. And I think you are for sure. But just to answer RJ's asking if I got a gram or website. Dude, I'm good at creating the content, but I'm not good at promoting it. So there's nothing on my Instagram, which is Lifted Creative Studio, and my website has perpetually been under development. So if you need work, just holler at me and maybe we'll figure something out. But then, yeah, to talk about Sickled Podcast, I think because, like, Brent, you're one of my closest friends, and we were just hanging out one day, and I think the whole idea of the Sickled Podcast is so much life and energy from these islands produce some of like the best people in general, but I would argue the best performers and dancers. And that's why a lot of people launch from here in such a and are successful wherever they go. And for you and I would argue many of us that have been shaped by this dance community in Hawaii, we are so grateful for it. And I think the whole idea is that we would just have a platform where we would share these things like I'm sharing, and there's countless stories that just need to be told, and from us OGs, but also these new guys that are experiencing so much new things that we would love for this to be a platform for people who are wanting to engage in the dance scene, to be inspired. For those that are like Brandy out there trying to make a living, so many people that you and I dreamed of interviewing that are doing their thing, for them to be encouraged as they're pursuing their dreams in the dance industry, because it's hard to do it, and to stay motivated and to remember why you did it. It's easy to get lost when you leave the islands and try to make it out there. You know all this, and then it's also just a way for us, lastly, for us OGs to stay connected to the people and the industry that we love. So I'm so reluctant, because I do think I'm washed up and OG and out there, and I didn't really do much, but I still love the community. So regardless of that, that's why we started it. And there's so many like names that we did, but I think Brent and I are just one of the goofiest people, and we gotta get Nukan on here when we can.
Yeah,
the
Jay.
Three of us will just wreck shop, and we'll never get anywhere. But we're the biggest goofballs, and I think that's the thing, is like so many people are trying to make a big name for themselves and trying to do a podcast and make money, monetize that. Although maybe, I mean, I won't turn down money, but I think the Sickled Podcast, the name Sickled, is a term that dancers know. And it's a cardinal rule to never sickle your toes, your feet. You should always point. You should extend the line. It should go beyond. That you're creating a picture. And so whenever the feet is sickled, like Brent's, like our Sickled Podcast photo, which by the way is Brent's feet.
Oh my gosh.
We got to get Mark Kanimura's feet, because he got some monster feet that would be perfect. And he's like the man. He'll give us some cred. But it's just a thing that, it's an inside thing that only dancers know. But it's also the silliness that I think you and I bring. I'm sure there are a lot of more eloquent and influential people that can do a podcast. But I think for us, it's like talk story. Have fun, share some of like the horror stories from concert or competition and the major triumphs. I'm looking forward to building this up more and hearing all the stories, and then also lastly, just being a bridge between the different studios that come from this island. And that's a big heart of ours, is to contribute to many people who are trying to do that, to connect the community and keep us all strong and keep us all going. Because there's so much more dancers to be made, and so much more of them to be seen from the world,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, definitely to connect, I think, the different dance studios here in Hawaii, at least, because I mean, being here, you just feel like so competitive with other dance studios. And I know when I was jumping back between Hype and 24/7, like some people are like, why are you going there? Or like, why are you here? Like,
imagine dating somebody.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
It was hard.
But then, like, after moving to LA and seeing how things were there, and just like people just dance wherever. I mean, they stayed loyal and committed to their company. They competed with their company, but dancing wise, they were like all over the place. And I think after moving back to, well, just being up there and like, you know, people that moved from Hawaii that was up there, it was kind of like, oh, I never really got to sit down and really have a conversation with you. Like,
Yeah.
you know? And then moving back to Hawaii, same thing. It's like, I don't know why I was so like weird about things, but yeah, like,
Yeah.
oh. So yeah, definitely connecting the dance community. But yes, I want to hear all those horror or like hilarious stories because I've got some. I know you got some. Jay got some.
Yeah.
We got some about Jay. I still have somewhere at my mom's house, I have video of Jason on stage messing up and then walking off. And then I have Kaleo and like, I think it was Ian, like, wait, they're dipping out? I'm dipping out too.
Jason's saying we should do a bakery show.
Bakery show. Okay.
I think, with our man, I think it would be so funny if, like, you know, we would, every dancer we have, like, on here, we should ask them, like, their best and their worst memory of their director.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so many people have, I bet you they have something to say about Jason. They have something to say about, you know, Marcelo. They have so much to say about all these dance directors, their studio directors that, oh man, we could do a montage of all of that.
Oh my gosh, that'd be great. Jay, yes, I think if you got some time, I think we definitely gotta, like, the three of us just gotta, like.
And I think it should be said that the unicorn of the Sickled Podcast is to get Marcelo on here.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
He will never.
Definitely...
I think we ran into him. We told him about this, and he was like, "Never."
Yeah,
never.
He said never.
So he's a unicorn of the Sickled Podcast for us.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be. But oh my gosh. All right. So, Jay,
calling out Marcelo. I don't know, man. We gotta save that stuff. That's like season 3.
Yeah,
Jason.
it is. Yeah, we gotta like pan that out. Like, we gotta start getting more viewers first. We can't like just go full dramas at the beginning. Oh man. Yeah. So let's see what else. We're so short on time. I think that's a good challenge of this thing too. I think that's why I like this IG live. I don't know if a lot of people didn't start at the beginning, but I like this IG live because you literally have a 1 hour limit. Yeah. And then it kicks you out, which I think is fun. Like it kind of adds a little fun factor into it, but it makes it, you know, sometimes when there's so much information that you want to hear or that you want to share or whatever, it makes it like a little difficult. But I guess yeah, we're gonna have to save this for another one because that's fine.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully this thing will. Hopefully we can, you know, be around people again, and then you and I can be on the same
on one,
and then we can be talking to people on the other. But yeah, is there one piece of advice that you want to give somebody? Because I know, I mean, like you said, like dancing. You started off with dancing, but dancing had led you to other things, or it had helped you develop what you're doing right now. So is there some sort of advice about that you have for anyone out there?
Yeah. You know, I think for anybody pursuing anything, whether it's dance or whether it's school, whether it's like another career or relationships, I think whatever it is, it's always a good thing to take moments and intentional time to remember why you're doing what you're doing. You know, I think in the dance world, it's easy to put all of our energy into being cast, being, you know, getting the job or getting noticed or teaching or having the front row or killing it or whatever it is. The reason those things feel good and are good is because dance, there's nothing like expressing ourselves, connecting with music, connecting with people. It's what I would argue many of us come alive in, is when we're in that energy and in that space, because we're sharing it. We're sharing it with the other dancers. We're sharing it with an audience, and we are full and free. And that looks different in different settings, you know? And so always remember and connect to the source of why you do what you do, because that's what's going to be there whether or not you get the job. And for some reason, that's why people choose those people, is because they're in that space. They don't leave that space. It's when people come out of that space and they make it about the money, about the recognition, about the fame, about the likes, that's when they lose themselves. And that's when I would say they're not as much of a good dancer anymore. Because the thing about dancing, like when you're in the scene, it's like you can smell a fake a mile away. I can sense it. But no matter what you're doing, whether you're whacking, popping, locking, jazz, interpretive, whatever it is, even, you know, ballroom, whatever it is, if you're 100% committed and locked into the source, I believe you and I'm with you.
Yeah,
but if it's about anything else, man, we smell that like a mile away.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to get you a job, and that's what's going to make you feel fulfilled in your calling or in your career. And I think that's what the world needs.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh, man. All right, Larry.
All right.
Thanks for enduring these the trials that we had with this one. But
this might be an excuse for me to ask Hoku or Chanel for a new phone, because that thing is dying on me.
Oh, thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. But for real,
RJ.
Jay, we definitely need to get you on this thing, because
or you know, if we ever get, like, we make it big, not saying that we have to get big after that speech I just said, but we can fly up to LA and kick it with Jason and do a podcast together. How sick would that be?
That would be dope. Straight from Jay's house. All right, this thing is giving me a countdown. But yeah, Larry, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of this interview today, for enduring. Yeah, we got to keep this thing going, because I think it's just so fun for us to just talk with people and connect with people.
Yeah, likewise.
But yeah, man, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who's listening.
Remember, point your toes.
Point your toes the correct way. I'm gonna start.
Dude, hazmat only now. Hazmat. What the
only
heck,
now.
Man?
Only now. Perfect timing. Perfect timing, Josh. But yeah, I'm gonna start posting these on our YouTube. So yeah, check us out. Oh, Josh, we gotta get you on this thing too, because we know you got some stuff to say, bro.
Hazmat. Oh, by the way, I took his popping lock class, and actually
nice.
The three of us, me, Chanel, and Levi took it, and Levi remembers it.
Oh, dope. Oh, he's in. We got it. We're in. All right, bro. Yeah, for sure. We're gonna set this up then. We're gonna talk story, but yeah. Anyway. Oh, it might be good to get Jay and Josh all of this thing.
Nah, we gotta spread them out. Two ULIPs.